Welcome back to At the Buzzer. I'm Tyler Fertel alongside my co-hosts Andrew Loveliner, Campbell Klein, and Dean McCullum. And today we have a very, very special episode. We are lucky and excited to be joined by Los Angeles Chargers defensive tackle and NC State alum Justin Jones. Justin, we really appreciate you coming onto the podcast. So let's get started. I'll start with the first question here. So growing up, was your dream to always play college football and end up in the NFL? And if not, did you have any other goals or dreams?
Originally, I just wanted to get out of my neighborhood, really. So, however that happened, for me, that's what I was going to do. But it just so happened, football brought me to, NC State, brought me to the league. It took me a long way. So, obviously, just stick it out, see how far it take you.
All right. So here's a college football question for you, Justin. What made you choose NC State over other colleges you got offers from, and how did your teammates there, including some of them who play in the NFL, such as Bradley Chubb, Jacoby Brissett, Jalen Samuels, Nyheim Hines, etc., help you prepare for the NFL?
Well, a lot of people don't know, I grew up with Chubb, so we had a lot of the same offers, coming out of high school. So when the college come see me, they'll go right to see him, and vice versa. So we took a lot of the same visits, and us growing up together, it just made sense to go to college together. We were initially going to go to Mississippi State, but we realized that it was 2 hours from the airport, and nobody really wanted to drive that far, to catch a flight. So, Raleigh was the next option. His brother went to Wake Forest, so that was cool. I had a lot of family out there in North Carolina as well, so it worked out perfect. Ended up being the best decision we ever made.
Hey, Justin, like Tyler said, thank you for your time. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
And I just wanted to ask you a question about the NFL draft and just what was that experience like for you, and what were you feeling when the Chargers selected you in the third round?
It was a dream come true, to be honest. And honestly, I wasn't even expecting to go to the Chargers. And when they called me, I was actually in the shower. It was so weird. Like, I didn't even think I was going on the second day, but I ended up going, and I'm glad I picked the call. I'm glad I didn't miss it, because they could have picked somebody else. For real. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like a pretty cool draft story, Justin. I have another question related to the draft. Thank you again for coming on here.
Sure.
There was big news this year that there will be no combine for the draft.
Right.
And I just want to ask you about your combine experience, because being someone that watches a ton of college football, I always like seeing the players that I watch, test out those drills and their skills in the combine. And do you think it's a big disadvantage for, players that are really trying to make a name for themselves and get drafted this year with there being no combine?
Yeah, I actually got a brother, who's doing the NFL combine, and he's actually played for the University of Cincinnati. And the combine is actually a place where he's supposed to showcase his abilities. Obviously being a lower rated prospect, it's an opportunity for you to showcase your abilities. Obviously, with the bowl games and at the combine, but now that they canceled that, it's kind of like, dang, how's I'm gonna showcase my abilities. But the way they're putting together these pro days now, they're gonna have a lot of scouts at the pro days, so that'll be a good chance for him to showcase his abilities and everything. And as for me, on the outside looking in, I just know that, at my pro day, that was probably one of the biggest times I've ever seen. We had like 100 scouts there. Crazy. Never seen it before. You feel me? So understanding that there's no combine, I assume that they're going to have, 100 scouts there as well, at Cincinnati, because they had a good team this year. Obviously, they won the championship in their division, so that's obviously big props to them. So, I'm excited to see the turnout.
And kind of relating to that, as there's no combine this year for senior athletes, for college athletes, seniors specifically, the Senior Bowl was really important for a lot of players, like Andrew said, that were trying to make their name a name for themselves. And you played in the Senior Bowl both as a high schooler and as a college player.
Right.
What were those experiences like for you?
Well, in both situations, I was an underrated prospect in both situations, and being able to go out there and make plays and showcase your abilities, it moved me up, not only from high school to college, it moved me up the draft board as well, because coming out, I was probably like a 5th round draft pick, 6th round draft pick. So going to the Senior Bowl and having the opportunity to showcase my abilities against, the first round or the second round that they picked to go, before me, and being able to come out with the MVP of that little event in both cases, you feel me? That just speaks, and shows that, just having opportunity goes a long way. So.
I know this is sort of a bland question, and I bet you have many of these favorite moments, but what is your favorite / most notable NFL moment?
I think my favorite moment was probably, well, I got two. Both of them were night games. It was my rookie year. We were playing Pittsburgh, and we went into the halftime. It's a night game. And mind you, we're in Steel City. They got all the yellow flags flying around and everything, and we're the away team. So obviously we're getting a bunch of boos, and they're beating us by 21 points by halftime, right? But just the feeling going from the bench to the locker room and just knowing that, we got this game. Like we're not about to lose this one. So we going into halftime, and we come out, and I just know that defense was going crazy. Stop after sack, after hit, after incompletion. Like, it was crazy. Came back 17 points into the game with a dub. Like, that was probably one of the best games we played as a defense together as a team. Really funnest time for me, because I've never been to, I've never been to Pittsburgh and played in their stadium other than playing Pitt. So being there in that atmosphere was just new to me, and I was just happy to be there. Now, my next one was probably also my rookie year on the Ravens game when I got my first start and my first sack. Crazy, right? Crazy. How about that? So, and we got our first playoff win. You know what I'm saying? First year coming out the first start, getting a playoff win. It just seemed like everything was going right at that moment. Like, yeah, it seemed like everything was going right. So I was just, man, crazy.
Yeah, I remember that game. I'm a huge Charger fan, so I was going crazy when we won that game, and I remember that your sack on Lamar Jackson. That I watched it recently. I rewatched it, and it was a great play.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, you literally stole my next question about that exact sack. So I'll move on to a different one. And that's about this offseason. What do you want to improve on this offseason going into next season? And yeah.
Well, every offseason I kind of pick one or two things that, I feel like will make the biggest difference in my game. And this year I chose to focus on, my core, because, your core is, it helps you move, obviously, helps you make strong tackles, helps you make, those sharp turns. Your core is basically the centerpiece for your whole body. You feel me? And without a strong core, then you can't do anything at all, really. You feel me? You probably walk around like a noodle, literally. But yes, that was one of the biggest things for me. And the top end turn of the pass rush. When you get to the top of the rush, you start working that second move, third move, working on that. So those two things I'm going to focus on this offseason to the best of my abilities. Obviously, with the current climate of today's world, where we're at. So trying to navigate that as well as get what I have to do done. So that's the plan.
Yeah, it sounds like got a good plan going in next season. I have just another question about going up against some of the best players that just NFL players that you've had to tackle. So, do you have like one particular guy that you've either tried to tackle or you have tackled that you think was the toughest to tackle? And is there someone that you're looking forward to trying to get a sack on them this upcoming season?
Well, this upcoming season, I'm trying to sack everybody, to be honest. But I think the strongest person I ever met in the whole it's probably a tie from Kareem Hunt, my rookie year, to Frank Gore this past year. Now, if anybody's seen Frank Gore is literally probably like 5'8", 200 pounds at most, 225 at most. But he runs so low to the ground and so hard. Like, if he hits you, he'll unbuckle your chin strap every time. Every time.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing how old he is and what he does.
Yeah, but you would think he just got in the league the way he plays, though. So kudos to him, for sure.
Relating to the Chargers once again, obviously the Chargers, this is kind of two questions in one, but Chargers kind of reset their coaching staff this past season, brought in a new defensive-minded head coach in Brandon Staley. What are you most excited for with Mr. Staley? And also the Chargers added Linville Joseph last season for this season and next season. How did he help you improve this season? What are you looking forward to kind of just him helping you with just keep improving over the next couple of seasons?
Well, me and LJ got a good relationship on and off the field, and that's the number one thing. We talk outside of football about a lot of different things. We talk about football a lot of the time, and me just picking his brain, and obviously we're two different players. He's huge, like he's a mountain of a man. You feel me? So the way he plays the game is totally different than the way I play the game. But what we do is we try to collab on certain things to elevate both of our games. Like obviously, if I'm a vertical player up the field and you're more of a stronghold to point, you know what I'm saying, get off the block, make the play type of guy, we can work with that together. You feel me? Because there's certain things that I'll be able to do that in previous years I wouldn't be able to have done. You feel me? Knowing that he's next to me there. So that's one of the biggest things. As for, having our new coach, I like him a lot. His scheme is giving everybody one-on-ones, gives everybody the opportunity to make plays, and it gives everybody opportunity to have fun and really go out here and showcase their abilities, where in previous years, we're more so role players, for obviously our star players, which is nothing wrong with that. This scheme wins in a lot of different games. You feel me? So, but it's good to have the change. It's good to have that refreshing feeling about playing in a new defense, knowing that you'll be able to make some good plays with that. So.
All right, Justin. So you have 8 total career quarterback hits. Who is your favorite quarterback you've hit, and what quarterback would you like to sack in the next year or in the coming future, and why?
Well, that's kind of, like I said, that's kind of a hard question, because in the future, I want to sack everybody. You feel me? But I think instead of saying who's my favorite, I'll say the hardest to hit was probably Ben Roethlisberger. Why? Because he's so heavy and he's hard to bring down. You feel me? So one hand is going to do it. Where in most cases, if you grab a quarterback with one hand, he's not going anywhere for real. But Ben Roethlisberger, he might as well be a DN too. So, he was probably one of the toughest guys to bring down.
And a little more just life related. I take it you're a big gamer from your Twitch channel.
You can set it right here.
Oh wow, you got the whole setup.
Really?
So what's your favorite game to play? And I'm not sure if you play Madden, but what's it like to see yourself in that game? And if you do play, what's it like to play with yourself in that game?
Well, when I did play, I played Madden heavy my first year in the league, because it was just so surreal to be on a video game that everybody plays. And obviously everybody can see that you're on there. They did, my character looks nothing like me. Let's start there. You feel me? And they played me on the speed and the weight, because I'm not even 320 anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like I've never even been 320. But it was just cool to be on the game. But now I play a lot of Call of Duty, a lot of 2K. But I feel like they broke both games recently. Like 2K, if you heard anything about the 2K world, like they broke that game so bad. Like everybody can do anything. Like everybody's LeBron James, and nobody wants to play a game where everybody can do everything. Like that's like it defeats the purpose of playing basketball. Like, but I've been playing Call of Duty. I've been getting really good at that. I've been taking a little break right now, to focus on my family and obviously my businesses and everything. But when I get some more time, I'll hop back on and start streaming again, and that'll be good for everybody. But yeah, Call of Duty is probably one of my favorite games I'm playing right now.
I saw the Chargers in like social media, the 2K tournament. That was a fun thing to watch. It was just all the players playing.
Oh man. Yeah, I played against Kazir White, and it was a pretty cool game. Pretty cool game. But I feel like the venue that we were playing and played a role in the outcome of the game. So if we were to change the venue, and it'll change the outcome of the game for sure. So that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna make sure to tune into your Twitch streams next time you start streaming again.
Appreciate it.
But now I kind of more of just like a general overview question for your team, the Chargers, next year. I'm sure you have a ton of personal goals, as you said, to sack everybody and obviously just become a better player, I'm assuming. But what are your goals for the team? And as of right now, I know the draft, you're going to draft some more people and you probably sign some people in free agency. But just looking at the team right now, where do you think you guys can end up for next season?
I mean, a lot of our games we lost this year were within 7 points. So if you give us 7 points or we take 7 points off the board, we're easily 10 and freaking 6, 10 and 6. Feel me? 10 and 7, 11 and 5. Like we're there. You feel me? But there's always a couple plays. There's always a miscommunication that we didn't have, or just something. So the goal of this offseason as a team is just to be one unit. You feel me? Just everybody's just together. Everybody knows what everybody's doing. The defense knows what the offense is going to do. The offense knows what the defense is going to do. And special teams just carries us the whole way. You feel me? Like that's just playing good football. You know, complimentary football, as we say. And
Yeah.
once we get better at that, I feel like the team will be taken to another level, and people aren't even going to know who the Chargers are going to be next year. Like we're going to be a whole different team. Like
Yeah, because on paper, your guys' roster is stacked. So I'm definitely excited to see you guys play.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Yeah, and also getting Derwin James back too from that season-ending injury. I mean, I'm preparing to watch that your defense be lethal next year.
For sure, man. From Derwin James to Ray Jenkins to Mikey to freaking Kenneth Murray to having Drew Tranquil back. You feel me? LJ, Joey. You know, if we get Melvin, that'd be great. But if not, you know, we'll have Jerry on the other side. Like, we got a lot of guys on defense. We have a lot of guys on offense. Freaking Justin Herbert, hell of a quarterback. Like, think about his first year. You know, a lot. So people talk about guys in the league, and they talk about, you know, going from your first year, second year is probably the biggest jump you'll make because the speed of game slows down for you. So if you got a guy who's already making plays like that, and it's his first year in the league, imagine what he'll do in the second year, and how explosive he'll be, and how comfortable he'll be in the scheme. Because at the beginning of the year, you just kind of just throwing in there. You guys remember that? You feel me? So now he has a whole year to settle in and get his mind right. Yeah, he's gonna be dangerous.
The fact that he came in, he knew that he was coming in the game like 10 seconds before, and then putting on a show against the Chiefs. Although you did lose that game, I mean. Just a lot of like you said, a lot of the games past season were close. So
yeah,
definitely can get over the hump next year. And talking about kind of you improving, you just talked about how Justin Herbert has improved. But this past year, your third year in the league was your best year in the league, at least stats wise. How do you think? Do you think you can continue to improve the next coming years? And what are your main kind of skills that you want to work on in the offseason and kind of just going forward?
Well, every offseason, you want to push your body to see how far it can go. You feel me? You always want to know, like, without injuring yourself, without hurting yourself, you want to push your body to see how far you can go, how flexible you can be, how strong you can get, how fast you can be. You feel me? So when it comes down to football, it all translates to the game. And what happens is last year, I studied my tail off. You feel me? Going into that offseason, and I just felt like I got better mentally. So when it came time for the game, like everything was moving slow for me. Everything was moving slow. I saw things faster than I normally would. You feel me? I was reacting to things faster than I normally would, and it was just happening in my favor. You feel me? Like, so just like I said, just taking that time and studying the playbook and understanding my role to the fullest kind of helped me take that next step. And obviously, you know, going into this year, once we start OTAs and everything, learning our playbook, I'll take the same approach, take my time and go through everything and see where I fit in and how I can help the defense. That's the biggest thing. How can you help the defense? You feel me? So.
Justin, is there any meaning behind you having the number 93 as your number? And also, you changed from number 91 to 93 after your rookie season. Is there also any meaning behind that?
Well, when I was in high school, one of my favorite players to watch was Gerald McCoy. So when I got the opportunity to go to college, you know, I chose to get 93 because I never had an actual D lineman number in the history, like since I played football. Like I never actually had one. You feel me? So once I got to NC State, I grabbed 93 and then played a couple years with that. And then I went to my head coach my junior year, and I was like, well, shoot, what's the lowest number you're going to give me or you have available? And he said, you know, I got like 13, I got 17, I got 21 and 27. And I was like, damn, I ain't never seen anybody wear 27. So I threw that one on, and I've been wearing that for the last 2 years. And when I got to college, 93 was, when I got the NFL, 93 was taken by Darius Fallon. So I grabbed 91, and I played with that. But then he ended up leaving to go to Arizona, and 93 was open. So I said, it's my time to grab that. But not only do I have it, like I said, my brother in Cincinnati, he played with 93 as well. You feel me? So that's kind of cool. Literally, you know, watching him grow up and becoming who he is, and I was taking my number because I wore it. It's a great feeling. So,
I know this was a long time ago, but a question about like the difference between college and NFL football. Was there any like difference between the game's atmospheres, or just like the work schedule that was like surprising to you that you didn't expect when you moved to the NFL?
well, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like college fans are like real legit fans. You feel me? At times, because I know at NC State, actually just a real powerhouse until our D-line came through there. But our fans always supported us. They always packed out the stadium regardless of our record. They always made it a tough situation for teams to come in and play, in Raleigh. So that was one of the beautiful things of playing in Raleigh, because our stadium was so intimate. You know what I'm saying? The fans were really, really close to the bench, which made it really, really cool, especially at night. Whereas in the league, my first couple years in the league, I walk into the stadium and we'll see, if we're playing the Broncos, I'll see a freaking sea of orange in our stadium. Or we're playing the Pittsburgh, I'll see a sea of yellow. I don't see any Chargers fans out there. So it's kind of weird, adjusting to that. But, I feel like with this new stadium, we'll have a lot more Chargers fans, especially with the new coaching staff and the scheme. And everybody wants to see, how Justin Herbert plays and how we play together and stuff like that. I think we're going to start packing our stadium soon, especially when they start letting everybody back in.
Yeah, me being in LA, I'm definitely going to see some Chargers games. I'm very excited to, especially just that new stadium is pretty.
It's dope.
Yeah, it's pretty insane.
It's dope. Not gonna lie to you, it is dope. But it's a little different when you're playing in front of nobody rather than, you feel me?
Yeah.
Your fans. So
yeah, I'm sure it's better playing against fans. One thing that that I learned about you was that you're a baker. And that you bake cakes. So I just want to ask you, what's your favorite kind of cake that you've ever baked? Yeah, I heard something about that.
Who said I bake cakes?
The Chargers said that.
No, I think Justin Jackson might bake cakes. I don't know. I ain't no baker now.
Oh, then maybe they're just lying.
But no, I'll definitely eat some cake though. My lady, she makes real good pecan cobbler and strawberry cakes with homemade strawberry icing and all that good stuff to make your heart stop.
Yeah.
Wow.
Also, I just have one more question about just your college playing days.
Okay.
So you went to NC State, obviously, so you have a big rivalry with North Carolina. So I just wanted to know, when you played in those games against UNC, did you think that game was more important, or did it, the atmosphere of that game and the intensity and the energy feel like a bigger game than just a regular season game?
I'm not a North Carolina native, so that stuff had to grow on me. So it wasn't my third or fourth year when I actually realized that we actually had a rivalry with these guys, because we go there, they beat us, we beat them back and forth. But like I said, I'm not a native, so I don't really understand the real rivalry. But in my third and fourth year, I remember we were playing, we were 2-0 against them. I believe, we were 1-1 against them. And we were going into this game, and I just remember the warm-ups, UNC guys in at the 50 and just looking at us. And I'm just like, what the hell wrong with y'all? You feel me? But then I see a bunch of North Carolina natives go out there as well, you know what I'm saying, and start talking to them as well. And it gets pretty heated. And then there ends up being a kind of a fight in the pregame, low key. And I'm just like, damn, dudes really get heated about this, regardless of the record. They get really heated about it. But obviously, you don't want to see anybody. You don't want to see your teammates get into any type of scuffles or physical altercations with anybody. So obviously, you're stepping in, and obviously your tempers rise doing that. So starting of the game, it was time to go. They had something coming, because you disrespecting my brothers. So I'm more mad about that than the rivalry. You feel me?
Yeah.
So that's kind of the biggest thing.
And yeah, adding to your experiences at NC State, you got offers from a lot of different schools around kind of the country, really. And what made you choose NC? You kind of touched on this a little before, but what made you choose NC State over all the other colleges you got offers from?
Well, if you look at our roster at the time coming in, right, we had Jalen McClendon, right, tall quarterback, very, very mobile. You feel me? And we had Jalen Samuel, running fullback coming out of Mallard Creek. You feel me? Like I said, another good back. We also had Chubb, we had me, we had BJ, we had Street, all coming in together. We had Jermaine Pratt coming in with us. You feel me? We had a lot of guys coming in. We also had receivers there as well. I feel like we had Brian Underwood. He was there. We had Justin Burris on the roster already. We had a lot of guys coming in, you feel me, to turn it around. And a lot of guys that were around the same age. So we knew that we're gonna be locked in for 4 years together. And we can build something special. But like I said, going there with my brother, and also having my family close by, like it kind of was the best of both worlds. You know, just being able to feel like you're at home without being at home. So that's kind of why I went there. And we built something great there. I feel like Chubb and I both, you know, bringing that competitive toughness and that competitive lifestyle, you know, to NC State also lit a fire around everybody else, because, you know, that's something we grew up doing like our whole lives. So just bringing it there, it would just seem right.
And then I have one more question for you, really quickly. Obviously, you're in a division with Patrick Mahomes, and also the Raiders and Broncos are also two pretty young teams. So this division is looking to be competitive for the years to come. What do you think? How do you think the Chargers can compete with the Chiefs? And in the past couple of years, like for example, in that game where Justin Herbert started for the first time, it was a really close game. They beat you in overtime. But what do you think that the Chargers can maybe win this division this year and potentially be the front runner in it for the years to come?
Oh, for sure, hands down. You know, our conference is based on one championship team and 3 dark horses. Literally, you feel me? Everybody has the ability to be number one I'm talking about in the NFL in our conference. Every one of them. So it's literally who's going to prepare the best, who's going to take the time and build that chemistry and build that camaraderie throughout the team, who's going to take the time to make sure their team is prepared and make sure their team is staying healthy throughout the season, throughout training camp, so that when it's time to compete, we can compete at the best of our capacity. Literally, that's all it is. Because a lot of times teams go out there and they're confused on certain things, or you know they're unclear on their assignment and their role in the defense, and that causes problems for the whole defense and the whole team. Because if you don't understand what you're doing, then somebody else has to overcompensate, and if they have to overcompensate from your job, they can't do their job to the fullest, and it's like a domino effect. So that's how the whole thing works.
If I'm correct, I think that is all the questions we have for today. Justin, we really, really, really appreciate you coming on the podcast. I look forward to watching you this upcoming season for the years to come. As a big Charger fan, okay, it's going to be cool going to games and watching play. Actually, one more question. I don't know if you defensive linemen do this, but do you have like a number that you want to set that you're like, how many sacks do you want to get this upcoming season? Like,
sure, I'm going for 7+. I'm all right. Wrote it down. I wrote it down. It's in stone. I just got to make it happen now. 7+.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for being on once again. Bolt up. Go Chargers.
Appreciate you. Thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it.
No problem.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you so much for listening to At the Buzzer podcast. We really appreciate Justin Jones coming onto the podcast once again. Go follow us at AT Buzzer Podcast on all your social media platforms, and you can listen to us on YouTube and wherever you find your podcast. So thank you once again, and we will see you next time.